So please thank him and welcome Shane Ross.
Thank you. My name is Shane Ross, and I cut on Avid. How many other people here use Avid? Good, plenty of you. Then I can show you guys what's new so you can make the decision or tell your bosses, hey, we should go with this, or go with it yourself. Or you can go, hey, you know, Final Cut Pro 10 doesn't do this. Maybe I can go to Avid for it. Yes, Michael had to bail out, and Michael's a smooth talker, and this was one of the only nights I've had free, so yeah, I can show this thing off. I had to learn how to use, is this the PowerPoint? Thank God I had kids that did it, so it's a little rough. Pardon me for that.
I love how your kids taught you how to use it.
Okay, so my goal is to kind of show, I'm going to have to skip over a few of these things because I'm not quite familiar with the in-depthness of how some things work, such as closed captioning that they have. But my goal is to kind of show you what you won't find in just the README document, to kind of go, hey, look what this thing does in real life, the application of it, and you know, just kind of give you a more hands-on approach. So there's my first slide. Yay. Okay, let's get the stuff out of the way here. Now Media Composer 8.4 now has native support for ProRes files larger than 1080. It means that it can actually play it back. You can consolidate it to those sizes. Prior to that, you could bring it in. It would it wouldn't play back in real time, and you'd have to transcode it to an Avid codec that was 1080. It was kind of like stuck in 1080. They've also added native support for 8.4's, which is a Sony format. So you can link to it. You can play back in real time, although AMA, which is actually now called Link. It says Link right there. It allows you it's best to bring it in and then convert it, because Avid is not the best at playing back native files. It doesn't quite have support for XAVCS yet. For that, you'd need to use either Resolve to convert it or software called Edit Ready that will convert it to Avid Media for you to work with. It now has added support for QuickTime Wrap DNxHR. You can actually bring it in. Before, you couldn't bring in anything higher than 1080 with an alpha on it, or even stills. So you have issues with Photoshop stills, you couldn't bring it in. Now you can do that. There are now more presets in there that were normally found in Pro Tools. So for all the people that like to do more audio effects on a timeline, because we as editors need to present more complete final sounding shows to the networks and to the clients, you can now get a few of those in 8.4. It also has a thing where you can include inactive audio tracks when you export. It's just kind of a convenience thing, because normally you would just go file export, and then you forgot to enable a couple of tracks. So when you export, you play it back, oh great, my music's not there, or the VO's gone. This just ensures that it comes on by default, and ensures that you don't miss anything when you export. Okay, terminology change. They've changed AMA, Avid Media Access, has been changed to Link. I'm just going to show you that quickly. So now instead of, there you go, Link to Media. So everything now is just called Link. It's also a bit more, it helps the mind when you realize, okay, it's linking to, not just accessing. It's an easier thing to say. Okay, all import-export settings for scaling color levels to the legal range have been updated with more intuitive terminology. Fortunately, I don't quite know what that fully entails. That's why it's just a change. Okay, closed captioning. But if I want to add a track, anyways, the D track is known as the data track. And that's where closed captioning will go, and you actually bring in closed captioning into the Avid. You can, if you could see the words there, I had to screen capture that one. It will show you right there in a timeline, what the captioning is, and you can actually go in and edit that, or add filler to add some spacing to it. So if the caption file you have, it didn't quite match up, you can use this to adjust it now. And you can also preview the closed captioning in the source monitor, the preview monitor, or you can bring up a separate pop-up monitor. And yeah, you can edit them, add filler. Okay, custom frame sizes. Let's go into that one right now. So now Avid allows you to bring in files even larger than 4K. you actually have a couple of sizes here. It will enable you to do custom project sizes. So if you have anything smaller than SD, you actually happen to want to edit something from a cell phone or from YouTube or something, you can create a really small size to edit. Not quite sure why you would do that, but you can. The other one is the more important one, is that now Avid allows you to bring in larger files, 5K, 6K, 8K, and edit those. And you can even convert those as well. It will do it for all the current frame rates, 23.98, 24, 25, 29.7, 30, 59.94, 60. And the media will be converted to the DNX HR codec and into the media creations and renders. And you can also save this as a preset. And I'm going to show you an example here. I'm going to demo this with 5K footage provided by Edit Stock. Misha. He gave me some 5K footage, and I actually had to ask what the ratio was, so I'm going to start a new project here. Let's call this LACPUG 5K. And I'm going to say, go down here and go to Custom. This allows me to adjust the raster dimension. In this case, it's going to be 5120 by 2700. And that's a 1.91 to 1 ratio. I just click OK. Let it load quickly. And now I can bring in media that's 5K or higher, and convert it and edit it at that native rate if I wanted to. Which it's a good thing if you want to edit this rate instead of converting down. You could then export larger files. The red folder. Sometimes the auto detect doesn't quite work, so I tend to try to choose. There we go. I can bring it in. There it is. It's not going to play back smoothly because it's playing off an internal SSD drive, and this is red raw footage. But there I brought it in, and I bring this over.
This is red raw?
This is the red raw footage from that Misha has given me red. And what's really cool is that it brings in all this metadata. It'll bring in, the AMA plugin, source settings, original, the file name, and you can keep going over here to all the other things, camera firmware version, the model number, the camera network type. It's going to bring in all the metadata that the red has attached to that file. And that's really good for helping to track back to the original. And as you can see up here in the format, that says 5120 by 27p, 2398. And I wish I could do real time, but I have to have a Thunderbolt drive for that. But there it is. Now I'm going to quickly show. I can zoom in on that one. I'll show that one later. There's a little, one of the newer features too is there's a change to the motion adapters here. These adapters now have different icons on them so you can tell what is being adapted. Before you had a little green dot and you go, well, what is it? Is there a LUT applied? Is it a speed change? Is it a size change? No, now you can see that. Let's go back here. Okay, timeline quick find. Before you used to have to type in Apple F in the timeline, and you can only search by one field only. You can only search by like what's in the timeline, search by the markers, what have you. Timeline quick find. I have to go back to my other project here. Okay, at the very bottom down here, you have this little search window. And all you need to do is, I'm going to type in girl. It's going to pop me right to a clip that it's a girl approaching a shower. Boom, scary person inside. But what's really cool about this is that you can have it either do, you can search by resolution. So if you go, I need to find everything that is 5K. I need to find everything that is 14:1. You need to go, well, I know that my project has some mixed media in there. I need to find everything that is this certain media size. You can find that resolution. You can do by clip name. It's by default. By comments, if you have something in the comments in your bin and you do a search for this, it will find the clip via the comment. And by markers. Or you can have it do all of them. Like this one has mother. This marker has mother. This one, I think, has man. I just have to make sure man. So yeah, I could just go down here and go mother, I have to make sure that all are selected. There we go. I was going to find the mother. But that's really cool is that now you can search by all search options or none. Why you do none? No idea. But now you don't have to, choose it in the find window. Only search this. Nope. Oops. Search that. No. I like the added resolution one because as an online editor, I need to make sure that I find all the SD footage or all of the 14:1 low-res footage, and I could just skip through. At least using those little arrow keys, go forward or backward and find them one at a time and then bump them up and then figure out what I need to online from there. This is a big one that a lot of people have been asking for. You can now resize the monitors, and what that means is normally in Avid, this Composer window is one single window. So both of these windows here, unlike Final Cut Pro, unlike Premiere, where you can resize just the canvas or just the source monitor, the preview monitor, you could size them differently. Media Composer you can only do one at a time. You had to do them both, and this one wouldn't get really big. So like if you wanted to do a nice animator on something, go into the effects mode, you couldn't really get that big. And you had to zoom in this way, and you still can't do too much because you're missing the edges. Well, what this new option is, if I can remember how to get there, you can go to single, that's right, you can go either a quick menu like this, like the option key, and go into single monitor mode. Boom. So now, if I can grab the corner, just the corner, there we go. And I can make it really big. And this will allow you to do all the animats, like you want to go right around this ring or around the nose. So you can zoom in really far and still see the whole picture. What's really neat about this feature, because I like to map all my common commands to keyboard to make me go quickly, they do allow this special, show dual monitor, show single monitor. So now you can map this to the keyboard so you can easily click between the two when you go, okay, I'm going to effects mode, and you can have it choose whichever monitor you want to go to. Oh, not that one. How do I get out of that? There we go. Special. So you can even do it in this monitor over here as well. Oh, that's right. The effects mode's only in the program side. Pardon me. Alrighty. Now here we're talking about the adapter display icons. The timeline now, if you bring like 4K footage or 5K footage into 1080, you would just get a green dot. If you brought 29:7 footage into a 2398 project, you got a green dot. If you applied a LUT to the footage, you got a green dot. And you didn't know what was what. Well, now you can see Avid has made it so that there's a T, means temporal, there's a motion, there's a speed difference. So you can easily look at these at a glance and go, yep, okay, now I got a spatial. This one has frame flex. I can blow it up, I can shrink it. Or this one has a color applied. So it's one of those great things that at a little quick glance you can see. I'm going to go back to the 5K one just for a second. That has a little S sort of on it. Alrighty. Refresh sequence. This is a really neat option where it allows you to, you can remove all the adapters on the footage if you need to. This is really important, like if you want to send it for color correction, you want to remove all the LUTs that you had on there. Some colorists want everything to come through without anything on it. So you can use this refresh sequence to remove basically just all the color adapters. So instead of having to go through the sequence on your own one at a time and having it remove, this will do it all at once. Or you can remove all the time warps. You can choose which one you want to have it remove at that time. Okay, reformatting. As a documentary editor, documentary online person, this is fantastic because before when you had a 1080 project, if we brought in footage that was SD, boom, it's brought out squeezed. This is great because now you can choose to have it come in as stretched, which is a normal. It defaults to pillar box, letterbox. You can have it center crop it so that if you have a 16:9 footage you're bringing into a 4:3, it'll crop it. Or you choose a layer box, you can have if you're 4:3 bringing in 16:9, you can have it automatically layer box it. Or you can have it keep the center size, which basically means it'll come in a small little window. If I go to, link, I'm going to choose QuickTime. I had it defaulted to pillar box, so I can do this. So now I'm going to bring in this footage. It's keeping the nice little center on there. So now I don't have to apply the 3D motion effect and then try to figure out how much to adjust one size. I know automatically, or I have to bring in the reformat, throw a reformat on all of my footage. I now can do this. Company I work at, my boss is a stickler for the reformats. It'll distract him immensely if we're watching something and we forgot to reformat something. He'll go, wrong, squeezed. And it takes him out of the moment and distracts. This option means that you can bring it in always this way. Yes, you can also have this, always use 16:9 for SD clips. So if you have some SD clips that happen to be 16:9, you can have it always bring it in 16:9. One of the biggest issues that I've had to deal with some editors when it came to online too is that there'll be some editors that will import 29:7 footage into a 23:9:8 project, and when you do that, it converts it, it'll remove frames, and it'll be skippy. It's done wrong because it will want to convert that footage. Even if you AMA access 29:7 footage in 23:9 project and you then transcode, it's going to go, you're transcoding this as 23:9:8, and you have no option to not do that. The trick you have to do at that point is you have to create a separate project like you saw me having here, as I happen to have several projects. I have my 1080 23:9:8, my 1080 29:7, 1080 P60. You have to have these projects so that you then open that, bring in the media, transcode it, close it, drag the bins over to the other project, open it up. Now Avid has gone through and got rid of that. You can now retain the original clip frame rate when you're transcoding within a different frame rate. So it'll ask you, do you want to keep the same one? You go, yes. It'll also keep the original size. So I'm going to go to the 29:7 again. So actually, I'm going to go to the 23:9:8 project because all this footage is already 29:7. So I've already brought some of these in. I'm going to bring in the other one just to show you soldiers. Okay. So now if I go clip, not decompose, go away. I want to transcode this. Now I can keep either source dimensions, keep the source frame rate right there, or convert to the project frame rate. So I want to actually keep the source frame rate, and it gives me these options to convert to. And then I can apply color encoding, what have you. So I have done that conversion. This one happens to be one of these ones here. I did on this one convert it to be the frame size of the project. So this one did upconvert it to 1920 by 1080 at 29:7. I will just do that quickly with this one just to show you how quick that would be. We're going to transcode. Keep the source frame rate. Boom. So here I am in a 23:9:8 project, right there, 23:9:76, yet it has converted to 29:7, keeping it the frame rate that I need it. And that is a humongous time saver and a huge headache off of my shoulders. I think that was it. Is that the last one? Yeah, that's the last one. So those are the new features I got to play around with. Those are the ones that impressed me the most, and I hope they're the ones that impress you the most as well.